What's up, guys? It's Casey Zokelman, aka the Fourth Sanderson Sister, coming at you with another episode of our podcast, The Sanderson Sisters and Us, and I am joined once again by...
The Guide Master. Hi.
Yeah!
Hey.
I know you guys have been looking forward to this. Everybody is so hyped from the schedule that I put up. But,
oh, good.
again, guys, we're an ocean away from each other. These come out when they come out.
Life just kind of happens.
Life does life things, so, stuff happens. They come out when they come out.
But it makes them more special when they come out.
Exactly! If we were putting them out monthly, it wouldn't be that fun. It's not as special.
Normally it means that maybe we've got something to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe today we don't, or we do, or I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
We just wanted to do one.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
our schedules finally matched up, and I was like, we should do one! So, we are, and I'm excited. But first, as always, little mental health check-in for the two of us. How we doing?
Fine, good, just plodding along. I think last September was when HocusPocusGuide and
you have some good news on that front.
I know, exactly. I think there was a weird sort of split in my personality where one half of me was absolutely heartbroken and absolutely crushed, but then the other half was like, that's kind of like a weight off my shoulders. I don't have to keep doing stuff every day. Maybe this was meant to happen, and maybe this was just a sort of nice way of bowing out. But then, like, after fighting Instagram and getting nowhere, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I really miss it, and I really want to, like, do something. So that's why I started the Guide Master channel, and I called it the Guide Master because I thought maybe it's because I had Hocus Pocus plastered everywhere, and Disney were like, no. So I was like, I'm going to get away from Hocus Pocus and I'll do the Guide Master. But then last month?
Was it last? I think it was last month, because I was at work and I randomly got a text message from your old account and I went, what? It's back? And then I answered, and you were elated, and I was so happy for you.
I know, it was, and now that it is back, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I did totally miss it, and I needed it back, and I'm glad that it's back.
Sometimes
and I posted
it's
every single day.
Sometimes it's that we step back, and then we're like, okay, it's kind of nice to not have to do this, but then after a little while, it's like, oh, I kind of want to start doing this again.
Yeah, I think it's when it becomes a task, and like you wake up and you're like, what am I going to post today? Then you kind of need to step away, and we've both had that. I've had that multiple times where I've just not looked at the account and just like ran away.
Yeah.
But then you always come back to Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that with the channel too sometimes. It's like, okay, I got no ideas for videos this week. I've got squat. What am I going to do? So I have a running list of stuff that I can work off of, but even then, sometimes I look at the ideas and I'm like, I don't really want to do any of these right now. And I think my problem was I was so reliant on getting things out exactly on time to make sure the algorithm didn't get mad at me. And after I went through my, what I went through, the whole bad depression, I was down, I had to start medicine phase, I was like, okay, yes, this is a part-time job, but YouTube is not your boss. You are your boss, and you can get things out when you need to get them out. If you can't get it out on a Monday, put it out on the Tuesday. This is the one aspect of your life you have complete control over. So it's like, I had to reframe into that, where it was less, and more back to when I started just doing things my way, which is why I'm going back to doing some of my goofier videos. Yes, they don't get watched all the time, which is a bummer because some of my best stuff comes out in those goofier ones. Like the one I just did, not this week, but last week when I did the Lilo and Stitch cousins. I thought that was fun. I had fun doing it. It was goofy, but it was entertaining. And it made me happy.
Well, exactly. That's the main thing. Yeah. I think more than anything, these channels and everything are an outlet for our
Yeah.
creativity and our home. I remember when I first started the Hocus Pocus guide, before even the sequel was announced and before everything, I made it because it was something that I would want to follow.
Yeah.
And it was something that I would want to watch and look at every day. I was like, if there was an account that posted all these random facts about Hocus Pocus, all these behind the scenes and deleted scenes, I would love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to make it and I'm just going to do it. So that's why I still do it.
Exactly. Like, and I'll say it again, I've said it 100,000 times. The fact that this one franchise brought me one of my best friends an ocean away tells you how awesome this fandom is.
I know.
Like, it's crazy.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, y'all. Like, things are getting better on both of our ends, I think, mental health-wise.
Yeah. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing better, still trying to get through the grief after losing Harry last Thursday. So, I mean, it's still only been a few days since he passed. Like, I'm not to sound like the weird cat lady, but, like, I have a tuft of his fur that was still here, and I didn't want to get rid of it yet, because I'm like, that's still a little piece of him that I'm not ready to part with it yet.
No.
So, yeah, not to sound like the crazy cat lady, but he was just a little baby.
I know.
He was only 8. Like, it was
That's
sad
still
and
so
it was
weird,
upsetting, but I made sure I was there when we had to put him to sleep, and I made sure he could see me and everything as he was passing. And then me and mom were wrecks that entire night. I wasn't good. But I'm getting better because I'm getting to do stuff with you. Been working on channel stuff this week. I'm on vacation. I'm prepping for con on Thursday. I've got cosplays that need to be finished. So, like, I'm in con crunch mode. So my brain's, like, laser focused on getting costumes done. Which, I didn't tell you this. So I'll tell everybody else. Since I'm going to be at Ranger Stop and Pop this weekend, Friday night they're having a lip sync battle contest thing.
No.
And a Thriller style dance afterwards. So they're doing a Friday the 13th, like, dance, and they're like, Thriller style is encouraged. And I'm like, I'm taking Winifred with me. So I'm gonna dress up as Winnie that night, and I think I'm actually gonna enter the lip sync battle this year and do I Put a Spell on You?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I wasn't sure if I was going to, because I haven't for the last 2 years, but I'm like, this is the last year they're doing this con. They're ending it because it got too expensive to keep running. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. And since we're going to be there for, like, a Friday the 13th thing anyway, I'm going to dress up as Winnie. Why shouldn't I try to do the lip sync thing as Winifred? So I'm excited.
Join in the Thriller dance as well.
I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited about this weekend. I'm debuting a brand new cosplay that I designed myself. It's a custom Ranger that I have built myself, except for the helmet and the emblem that's going on my armor. My friend made that for me. I'll send you pictures of the helmet after this, because they're really good. But yeah, I'm so excited. So, getting over the grief, got something to look forward to.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. I think it's always having something to look forward to, whether that's a week away, a month away, a year away. As long as you've got something to focus on, an end goal, that's the main thing.
Exactly. So, yeah. I don't know. That was our little check-in. I always like to do that to make sure we're both doing okay.
Yes.
So, Hocus Pocus. You had a funny idea that you sent me the other day. I want to talk about that.
It was. I can't believe, like, we've never thought about this, and I'm sure we've spoken about how Freakier Friday is coming back. Obviously, there's been so many people. Anytime I look up Hocus Pocus, it's normally now to do with an article about Freakier Friday, and then being all like, is this going to be another Hocus Pocus 2 and another Disney, 30-year later sequel, blah, blah, blah. But the difference is it's going to the cinemas rather than straight to Disney Plus. I know.
Shakes fist angrily in the air, because that's all I can do.
Then my brain started, like, wandering, and I was like, what if I guess this is like one of your what if series. What if they had a sort of body swap storyline in Hocus Pocus 3, maybe because of Mother Witch or because of some sort of potion or spell gone wrong?
As they do.
Wake up in each other's bodies, and it would be such a hilarious thing in my mind. For me, it was just trying to imagine. So in my mind, it was Sarah would wake up. No, let me.
You're good.
Winnie. Winnie would be coming out of Sarah.
Yeah.
So you'd have SJP having to act like Winifred. Then I had Mary as Winnie, so Bette Midler would be acting with the mouth off to one side.
All right.
And sort of like sucking up to SJP's character. And then Kathy Najimy would have to play Sarah.
Oh god,
and I was
that'd be hilarious.
I in my mind, I just had this image, and I don't know if maybe somehow their hair would all kind of swap, so SJP's blonde hair would suddenly go into the
honestly, I think it'd just be funnier if they kept their designs.
I know, yeah.
If they just kept their designs, like...
Yeah, I know.
I think it'd just be hilarious.
I just cannot imagine.
Because they'd have to get used to each other's features, which I think would be hilarious.
I love the idea of that. I just want to see
like
Bette Midler all of a sudden becoming very like, oh, Winnie, you know, like just like, oh god.
Bouncing off of that, like, what if her mouth doesn't go crooked? What if Mary's like, whoa, hey, this is kind of nice. Sarah's over there with the crooked mouth going, how do you do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Winnie's just like, well, it's nice to not have incisors that are this huge. Of course, let's be honest. Winnie would probably be like, I don't know that I want to switch back.
I know, exactly.
The other two would be ready to beat her up.
I would love to see like Sarah Jessica Parker having to act like Winifred.
Oh, it'd be so funny.
Do the voice and do the mannerisms and stuff, and
see Sarah hitting the other two for
exactly. It would provide so much comedy. Even if it was just like 5 minutes in the middle of the film where like the spell goes wrong.
Kind of like in the Scooby-Doo movie when everybody's souls just kept kind of getting swapped around, and it was only about that length of time, 5 minutes.
That's all you need, I think. Just a hilarious set piece in the middle of the film where they all just like swap and.
That would be hilarious, and I love that idea. I love that idea. I think that's awesome.
I keep thinking of. This is probably like 2 years ago, Jen D'Angelo did an interview, and it's probably the last time she spoke about Hocus Pocus 3, and she said something at the end of her article about how there's so many avenues that you can go down now. There's so many directions that you can take the story.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is she doesn't know which story to follow for Hocus Pocus 3, and I totally agree, because like over the past couple of years, you and I have come up with like so many like, what if this, what if that, what if this?
Yeah, we have come up with a ton of different ways 3
So I really don't know. I think
I don't either.
I don't know if this is public knowledge or not, but the last I heard was that there was 3 scripts, and I think we've maybe spoken about that. I can't remember now.
We've spoken of it, but I don't know how public that info is.
And I mean, I'm surprised there's only been 3 scripts, because I think the script writing must be so dependent on budget and cast and who we can get and where we can film. And it must be so dependent on... I definitely think
a lot of it would hang on the fact of, are we getting them back? I think that's where a lot of it would rely. And we better get them back, because then it's not Hocus Pocus. And I finally have a good comparison for this. Frickin' Until Dawn. That movie that came out that was
not watched it yet.
Based on the video game had nothing to do with Until Dawn. I'm like, I would not have an issue with this film if you had called it literally anything else.
The only thing I saw that was the same was that actor who played the psychiatrist in the game.
Yeah, he's in it.
That's it. but as a different character. So yeah.
I listened to so many reviews on that movie, and I'm like, so it's nothing like Until Dawn. So
and
it's
I don't
not
understand
Until
why,
Dawn.
because you've got like an amazing story in
I
Until
know.
Dawn. So why would you? Yeah, you're not happy.
No, I'm not, because like I don't watch horror movies because they scare me because I'm a chicken. But Until Dawn, I watched somebody on YouTube. I watched preview to play the game, and I was like, okay, it's a little jump scary, but I'm so invested in this story. I have no issue with this. Then for Christmas that year, I got a PS4, and I like swept all of the Dark Pictures anthology games into my cart, and I started playing them. I played Until Dawn myself. I almost made it out with everyone until the very last second when I accidentally blew Mike up. And I was like, oh, I thought he was out! I thought he was out! And he wasn't out. He exploded, no. And I was so sad.
I think when you were playing that as Sarah, I think you did the same thing, did you?
No, Sarah got all of her people out.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, Sarah got all of her people out. Mary got one out of her 3. And Winifred got 2? She got 2.
Okay.
She shot 1. She shot 1 because I had to make the decision as her when it got to Emily being bit by the Wendigo. We know Winifred doesn't stop to think. She doesn't think things through all the way. She goes purely on instinct. So the thought was, this works like the zombie apocalypse. You get bit, you're gonna turn into a Wendigo. That was what the characters were saying. So as she was playing Mike, who had the gun and was making the threat, I even paused it, and I looked into the camera and I said, guys, I'm not sorry for what's about to happen. I have to make this choice as Winifred. We all know how she thinks. I unpaused the game. Blam! Emily died. No, that wasn't her character. That was Mary's character. So she shot one of Mary's characters. That's right.
Right.
Oh, because, yeah, in my follow-up, whenever we started Hocus Pokemon, they went back to the house, and Mary was just trying to get over it. And Sarah was like, you know, you screwed us both. You did it to me in the first time, and then you did it to her.
That's so funny.
So, it's like they worked so hard during their individual story arcs during the Hocus Pokemon games. That's like, yes, we're going to do great in the next trial, and then they don't. Because I'm like, I can't make the decisions any other way. You guys have me pigeonholed into a corner with how you act. So, but the point of that being, if Hocus Pocus 3 doesn't have the Sanderson sisters, it's going to be like Until Dawn having nothing to do with Until Dawn. Yeah. That was a long-winded way for me to say that.
No, that was a great comparison. I hope that Disney realized that.
Yeah.
And I think surely they know that there's no point making another one unless they can get those 2 ladies back.
Agreed.
I made a video. It was one of my first ones that I made when I came back to HBG, and it was all about like what's happening with Hocus Pocus 3. And you know, one of the things that I said in it, and one of the things I've spoken to you a lot, is I'm so stunned by the amount of things that have been greenlit.
Yeah. It's
just
ridiculous.
Just like that.
It's
so
ridiculous.
Crazy. But then Disney Plus's #1 streamed movie ever.
Until Descendants 4 came along. Thanks, guys.
Well, I think Little Mermaid maybe, and then Descendants.
No, it was right? Descendants 4, because Little Mermaid was in theaters.
Oh.
So as for a Disney Plus original, we still held the title until Descendants 4 came along, and I was like, I'm going to punch that movie in the face. That was art.
Hello. Again, Descendants 4. How can we have a Descendants 4 and not have a Hocus Pocus 3?
I don't know. I don't know. It's always been so frustrating to be part of this fandom, because it's like, We make you so much money every year. We help you so much. We are old reliable. When y'all are failing and you put out new Hocus Pocus stuff, guess what saves your butts? Us! We do! So it's like, why do you keep putting us in the corner?
That's another thing I want to talk about. I don't know if it's the same with you, but I keep going on shopdisney.co.uk, and when you type in Hocus Pocus, there is zero. The Disney store in the UK has nothing Hocus Pocus on it right now, and I don't know why.
I haven't been on Shop Disney until, I took that picture from their website for the video yesterday, and I was like, do better. Just do better. Can you just do better? But, I mean, we have stuff, but it's repetitive. Like I said, it's a lot of repetitive stuff.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like normally you would at least have the coloring book there, or the Lego house, or like one of the other books or something, but there's literally nothing on the UK Disney website for Hocus Pocus, which is insane.
I don't know, man. It's like we don't matter to these people. And I'm like, do you understand? It's like that clip that I put in the video yesterday from Pete's Dragon. They know they're sitting on a gold mine, but they've had their chance to make a few dollars. Like, we're getting annoyed.
I know. I think...
Talk about another movie that's underrated. I'm not going to get on that soapbox right now.
I think if this Halloween comes and goes and there's not an announcement of a third film, then I think
we should just give up at that point.
I think we should give up. I think so.
I mean, we're not going to give up completely on Hocus Pocus, obviously. We're still going to be a presence, but we're going to give up on 3. Does that make sense to you guys?
I think the only other things after that we could possibly look forward to is if they turn it into a Broadway musical, which I know has been spoken about. But again,
spoken about loosely, and they haven't said anything since then. I looked recently to see if there were any updates on that. Same thing from September 2022. It's been 3 years since we heard anything about it going to Broadway. Which, get on that, man! I want that so much, because it would be so cool to see that on Broadway. We would get more songs. Max would have a whole, song about not wanting to move to Salem and how life sucks. Meanwhile, Danny's part of it is she's loving everything. It would be awesome. There would be some kind of stupid love song between him and Allison. The bullies would get a song to show how awesome they are, and it would be a hilarious mess. And I think they could work in the witches are back.
Yeah, probably.
When they get resurrected in the house, they could sing the witches are back.
Yep.
And then we get a full version of I Put a Spell on You, and a full version of Come Little Children, and it would be amazing. Get on it! Where's our musical?
Another CD to buy of the original Broadway cast recording of Hocus Pocus the musical.
Mm-hmm. I would walk to New York. I would walk to go see that show.
So would I.
You'd have to travel through water, so bring your water wings. That would be one heck of a news story. Man swims from Scotland to New York to see Hocus Pocus on Broadway.
Hocus Pocus musical. Because apart from that, I have no idea what else we can have to look forward to.
A prequel series would be great on Disney Plus. I keep plugging it. They keep not listening. It'd be amazing.
Every single day I wake up and I look at Twitter for Hocus Pocus news, just hoping that something's been announced.
I think if we hear anything soon, it'll be at San Diego Comic-Con next month.
Yeah, July the 20th.
I don't remember what dates I sent you.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Editing Casey will take care of it. She'll pop it up in the subtitles. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I think the earliest we would hear something is San Diego Comic-Con. And honestly, since it takes place in July, it's anniversary month for Hocus Pocus. It would kind of work. So...
yeah. I think, I just trying to keep thinking about the timeline for Hocus Pocus 2 and how, the film was officially announced
December 2020, wasn't it? Or November?
Yeah. So then there was technically like 2 years until filming. But then, are we counting Sean Bailey just passively saying in that article
no.
that Hocus Pocus 3?
At this point, no, I'm not going to count it.
But, and do you know what I don't understand? Yes, Sean Bailey's gone now. Bob Iger's back in charge of Disney. But he was the one that brought Hocus Pocus 2 in. So I thought he would even more want to get the ball rolling on, who knows?
Didn't Bob Iger, wasn't he the one who created Disney Plus? Wasn't that his baby?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hello?
I know.
We're here. I don't get it.
It's frustrating.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. You keep waiting. That's what Disney says to us every single day.
I know. I just wish I knew who's in charge and who's making the decisions, and I wish I knew what the thought process was and what exactly was going on.
Because the last public update we got about 3 was at the El Captain Theater, or I probably said that wrong. I apologize to California. Was at the theater. Yeah, that.
I just said.
That's probably how it is supposed to be said, and I said it wrong. Was at the screening for Hocus Pocus when David Kirshner was there, and he said, "We're working on Hocus Pocus 3," and that was it.
And Joe Debney went, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Standing right next to him, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the last we publicly heard about this, so it's somewhere out in the ether, in limbo, just waiting, and we're like, do something!
We had that brief time, which we're coming up on a year on. I think it was July last year that Bette Midler was doing the press for the Fabulous Four. And
she said they were talking about it gently and gingerly.
Exactly. It was in every single interview she did for that, because I remember doing a compilation video of all the times that she was asked. Anytime she did an interview for the Fabulous Four.
And she wants to!
Exactly. Someone asked her, what about Hocus Pocus 3? It was crazy that it was actually a question, and I'm so surprised that lately I've been keeping an eye on it. SJP's been doing all the press for the new series of And Just Like That, and I'm so surprised no one has asked her.
Probably, I don't. Part of me wants to say it's because Bette would be the be-all, end-all of it.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they haven't asked her anything.
Yeah. Or maybe they have, and she was like, "I'm not going to talk about that." And it's been edited out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
either can't say anything or doesn't know anything, which it's likely the latter of the two.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I'm getting tired of this. We've been in limbo for so long. Like with HP2, we never ever thought that was going to happen. So as much as we wanted it to happen, we were like, yeah, it's probably never going to happen. So we had that thought.
Do you remember it got to the point where they kept saying, "Oh, actually, there is a sequel being planned, and Tina Fey's writing it, and this, that, and the next thing."
Something.
And then you were like, "Okay, yeah, that's not going to happen," and then it didn't happen. And then they were like, "Oh, actually, yeah, we are making a new Hocus Pocus. It's for the Disney Channel." And remember, Bette Midler said something, "Oh, that's going to be cheap or something."
Yeah. It was for a remake. It was for a remake for the Disney Channel, and she was hard against it.
But then, even then, I remember thinking, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and it didn't.
And it didn't. And then...
Thank God.
I think even when the first rumblings of Hocus Pocus 2 started, I remember thinking, this isn't going to happen. Yeah. And it wasn't until that video of Bob Iger standing
in front of it,
and they released the logo and stuff, I was like, this is happening.
Oh, I had a heart attack that night. I was like, wait, we're doing this?
Because I think that was the same. It was the same video and the same announcement that they said Sister Act 3 was coming out, which we're still waiting for.
We haven't heard anything about that.
I'm sure that was the same video that they said Sister Act 3 is happening. So, to be fair, it could be worse if we were running Sister Act fan pages.
True. So true. So very true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just This limbo state has been terrible. It's been terrible.
Yeah, we've said it before. I think it needs to be addressed if they're not going to do it.
Just say it.
Other films have done this. Other things have. Other companies have made the announcement that have said, you know, oh, such and such is now no longer happening, or such and such is now no longer going forward. So I think if it's not happening, Disney just needs to say. They need to say, look, sorry guys, we accidentally, the ex-CEO preemptively said that it was happening. It's no longer happening.
Yeah.
But here's a Blu-ray with all the deleted scenes.
Consolation prize? And it's like, listen, I'll take it. We've been begging for that for years. So, I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. I think we spoke, I don't think it was on camera, but we spoke about this.
Yes.
Which is one of the pieces of merchandise. And it is so detailed and it is so accurate to what you see on screen. So they must have this somewhere on file. They must still have the original blueprint of this somewhere on file in the Disney archives for them to make such a detailed replica.
And I can tell you where it is too. It's in a dusty old shoebox in the corner of the storage room, covered in cobwebs, with all the deleted scenes in there too. Exactly. And it's what they use to prop open the door. When they gotta go in there and get the next thing out for their live action remakes, where the doors stop.
That's what it feels like. I think if they still have the blueprints for like that beautiful artwork, they must still have the footage of all the deleted scenes. They must have, you know, in all the, we've seen it, the footage that's behind the scenes of them filming the Candy Crow sequence. They must have all of that somewhere.
It's in the dusty old shoebox in the corner that's covered in cobwebs, and they use this as the doorstop when they need to go in and get their next live action remake out. Which, quit that, by the way. Quit that!
I know. It's so difficult.
I don't know.
It's so difficult.
I don't know. But
I feel like right now, like that's what I'm waiting for. We're talking about at the start, that thing that you're sort of focused on, that you're looking forward to. Hocus Pocus 3 is what I'm sort of not living for, because that sounds dramatic, but like, I mean, it is like
what got me to quit feeling like I wanted to off myself.
I know.
Just throwing it out there, it does work.
But I think I can't give up the hope and the feeling that it is going to happen until someone actually says, look, sorry, we're not doing it.
I mean, I'm with you, but that was like that last update I did where I broke down all those figures on money and stuff. I only did that because people wouldn't get off my butt about updates, and I finally said at the end of that video, I'm not doing another one of these until I get something concrete. Because I have nothing to say.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I could make a list of what I'd like to see and what I wouldn't like to see, like I did with the second one, but I waited until the sucker was announced for that.
I think you, maybe we are, what's the word? We'll probably be cursing this when it is announced.
Yeah.
And we're getting daily updates, like,
oh, I guarantee it. Editing Casey's already like, hold! He's like, I'm not ready to do 3 videos a week again.
No, exactly. God! Oh, imagine. You'll need to make a new Hocus Pocus breaking news video thing so that you
when I see the next logo, I'll be able to make that as the news.
This is going to sound really weird, and I maybe have some. Be careful what I'm saying. You need to have. I have a feeling the Hocus Pocus 3 logo, if it's ever going to be released, will have a sort of Frozen theme to it.
Okay.
Because for some reason, my mind just pictures Hocus Pocus 3 in snow, and anytime I see it, do you know what? Actually, I think the reason is the only logo I've seen for it is on a website called The Movie Database, TMDB.
Oh,
and for Hocus Pocus 3, there's a logo, and they've got the Hocus Pocus 3 logo, but I think it's just fan made or something.
Probably.
But it's in blue, and I think that's what tripping my head and making me think Frozen.
Blue means cold.
Blue means cold. We're gonna have snow in Hocus
Listen,
Pocus
I wouldn't
3.
be opposed to a different time of year, because then we wouldn't be pigeonholed into Halloween. And I did talk about that at one point. Don't remember what video it was. I'm sure Editing Casey is popping it up somewhere over here.
God love her.
Yeah, she's the only thing that keeps this channel together. But I know I talked about it, and it would give us more of an opening to, like, a Harry Potter type universe, but with Hocus Pocus, where it's not just Halloween. It could be at wintertime or springtime or summer or something, where we could expand on their magic, show that maybe different times of year have different effects on the Sanderson sisters and their magic. Like,
well, I'm kind of thinking if the plot for, well, this is another thing, Whitney Peak has now signed on for the new Hunger Games movie.
Oh.
She's going to be starring in the new Hunger Games film. Which I imagine
she gonna be busy?
Yes.
Girl gonna be busy?
and I know this sounds awful, but I kind of feel now that she's doing that, maybe she's like too big for Hocus Pocus 3. But
I can kind of see that, though, because, like, in a way, yeah.
So I think...
Which, listen, as long as I get Izzy.
But that's the thing, I feel like they
she's
focused...
also kind of in
with
Reba now,
Reba,
with Happy's
I
Place,
know.
which is a great show, and if you haven't watched it, you really should.
I have a feeling that the focus and the end of HP2 was Becca, and she had the power, she had the magic.
She had Book.
So she had Book, exactly, and I feel like Hocus Pocus 3
is gonna have to backpedal.
Surely will be like, right, okay, we need to focus on Becca and Book. So, and I feel like obviously we saw Mother Witch flying after them down the road. So the logical thing in my head is that HP3 will be Mother Witch trying to get Book back from Becca and being like,
that's kind of what I have in my Avengers storyline.
Yes. Sorry, that's not yours. I gave that to Winifred. You've now banished Winifred, so the book is mine now. Yeah. And I feel it would be really weird if Mother Witch sort of waited a whole other year until Halloween. So it would make sense that
for it to be set just later in the year.
Yeah, like November, December time after the events of Hocus Pocus 2. So that might make sense if we get like a winter.
Yeah, that makes sense. But back to Whitney Peak being so busy, the only way I could see her being written out, I hate saying that, but the only way I could see them doing that is if Becca had to move. And instead of keeping Book, she decided to give Book back to Gilbert.
Yeah.
And then that opens us up for either a new cast of kids or the returning crew.
Well, that's the thing. I would hate if anyone was recasted. Like, if they recast Becca or if they recast Izzy, it would not work. And
recasting is never good.
And
unless they're like a really minor role that nobody really cares.
Another thing, timing-wise right now, Hannah Waddingham said that during a Mission Impossible interview that she's back for Ted Lasso season 4 or 5. So she'll be filming that right now. So I'm like, please don't recast the Witch Mother, unless
they make her a shapeshifter.
A shapeshifter, or she's lived so long that she's now older than how we saw her in
and that could work.
And then you could cast like an old actress like
Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett. Is that who you want?
Carol Burnett.
Have you thought of that?
Listen, that woman's a comedic legend. She would work so well off the three of them. I'm knocking on wood real quick, though, because she is up there in age.
I know. Well, I mean, Bet, hello.
Yeah, Carol's got a good 13 years on Bet.
SJP's 60 now as well, which is insane.
Is she?
Google. I'm going to Google.
I didn't think she hit 60 yet.
Oh. When I search for SJP, it comes up St. James's Palace.
Okay. Yeah,
That
that's
must
not what we're
be
looking for, Google.
that's UK Google.
Yeah.
That's why that comes up. Yeah, she's 60
Oh,
years
she is
old. She
60
was
now.
the
Okay.
25th of March, 1965.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, happy 60th. I didn't know that was the age you turned this year.
So I think she's 60. Kathy's in her 60s.
She's 68 or 69 this year.
And Bet's 80. So I mean,
Get on it.
I would love if we got the versions of them that we saw at the start of the original
It would
Hocus
be cool.
Pocus. I would love if we saw them
It
again
would
with
be
their
cool.
little boats again, and then an old Mother Witch as well, and maybe they all somehow. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And what are we what are we gonna do with them? Like, I don't know. I'm tired of harping on this. But I'm gonna do it again.
Tell me.
They're sorry, the way you said that was great. Either you have to give me a damn good reason for them to go back to being evil, or we're expanding upon where we left off on 2.
Yeah. I mean, we've spoke about it before. I think the ideal and the most amazing plot would be the sort of double cross of, because it would bring back everything that fans want. They want more of Mother Witch. So we have Mother Witch back, trying to get Book back. Somehow she can't get Book back. We get Max and Allison back because they're brought in because they're the ones who have fought them before and know all about them.
We bring in Danny with her doomsday shed.
Exactly.
Clack,
then we
clack.
get the witch is back again, but then double crossing everyone. So we get that sort of villain side to them, evil side to them, but then also the redemption as well.
We were playing you from the very beginning.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just...
Oh!
Avengers Assemble!
Do you know as well what came into my head today, which was another idea for another possibility? Time travel.
Yeah.
I would. Do you know how much I would love? And again, they could easily do this because the amount of footage they must have shot from HP that's not used, whether they've still got it or not, I don't know.
Yep.
But see if for some reason they had to time travel. I'm only using this scene because it's iconic. Something specific maybe was dropped, or something specific happened in the I Put a Spell on You scene from the first film. And the witches have to go back to that town hall on that night, and they're in the audience watching themselves perform I Put a Spell on You. Like,
don't
can you imagine?
You'll kill the timeline!
Exactly. Can you like imagine Winnie being like, oh, you know, and like looking at herself and then saying something like, you know, it must be around here somewhere, find it, you know, and then you see like these iconic moments from the first film, like maybe Max is running through the crowd and he bumps past present day Winnie, you know, and like, oh, I just think that would be so cool. But they would have to sort of use footage from the first film
to kind of fill in some stuff there. Which I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea at all. I can just see Sarah being like, I want to go talk to myself, and Winnie's like, if you do, we're all dead.
Exactly.
You will literally throw the timeline out of whack.
Or maybe it is the case that, and then it also gives us a reason to hear I Put a Spell on You again in the third film, and hear that song, because I really missed that from
I know, I did
HP too.
But
then we would hear it, and I can totally imagine the moment where she comes down the stairs into the audience. If at that moment that's when she comes face to face with herself again or something, you know, and then maybe the music cuts out, and then they're like, oh, we've ruined the timeline.
Well, this is bad.
Exactly.
Sarah's just giving her a look like,
you told
wasn't me.
I totally would love that. I think
that would be really cool.
Maybe they're like, the only time that we could stop Binks or stop the book or something is if we go back
You said
What?
something about dropping.
Yeah.
What if it was when they were running from the fire truck? If you look close, Mary drops a bracelet.
Yeah.
What if that was the thing they needed and she accidentally dropped it? Like, we take a whoopsie and we turn it into something. It's
Because
like,
we've all
like
seen it.
special
So
crystal thing that Winifred was like, "You're the most responsible one here. You hold on to it," and then, whoops.
or the famous character. Well, it's not a famous character, but the moment in the I Put a Spell on You scene where Billy at the very end bumps into that really
Whatever that
extravagant
is.
and does the little
Yeah.
dance with. What if that's Winnie under that costume?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That'd be
hilarious. There's so much that they could do with that, and I kind of love that.
when they turn up, they think we need to disguise ourselves. So then all of a sudden, the people that we've seen for years in that audience shot are actually the witches, but like...
Dude, that's good. Okay, listen. You know how I come up with all those different scenarios for HP3? We need to co-write this one together, and then I'll put that up as a video. Like, we'll co-write it. I'll do all the camera stuff, so you don't gotta worry about schedules. Like, we just co-write it together because you can actually edit Google Docs at the same time. You can work together on the same doc, so we could script it together. You could write something and be like, "Oh, that's good," and then I could bounce off of it, and then that's our next video.
I love that.
Because I freaking love that idea, and we could expand upon it.
Because it's insane. Because then it changes the way you view the first film again. Because when you see that moment of Billy dancing with that weird gold woman,
you're I always thought it was a lion head.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what it is. But
you'll be like, "That's Winnie."
How cool would that be? That would be really good.
I know.
That would be really good. And it's all because Mother Witch is like trying to get to that thing that they dropped before they do.
Yes.
Or something.
Exactly.
Like, dude, that's a great idea. Yeah, we need to co-write this.
Maybe Mother Witch is somewhere in that audience as well, like running around. Like, there's so much you could do. Yeah. And then you would just need to recreate the town hall, which I imagine would be easy, and you would just have the stand-ins like blurred in the background, so you would constantly see the iconic dance routine in the background happening, but in blurred, and then
Oi. All right, we may have something to stack up with my Avengers Assemble now. Because there for a while I was like, I don't see this going any other way. Now I can see it going another way. Like,
Freaky Friday.
I love that.
Time travel.
Yeah. See what you're doing to us, Disney?
I know.
Do you see what you're doing to us? You're sending us down these kind of rabbit holes.
I feel like I didn't have this many ideas for HP2.
I know.
I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think the only possible ever Hocus Pocus 2 that would have been brilliant and pleased every fan would be the Hocus Pocus 2 that should have come out in like 1994 or 1995.
Agreed.
And it would have been one of those Home Alone 2, Sister Act 2, Addams Family Values.
Yeah.
One of those 90s sequels that was the exact same cast, just a couple of years later, just as good a story, if not better. I mean, I prefer Addams Family Values to the Addams Family.
Honestly, I have to agree with you on that one.
So it could have been that Hocus Pocus 2 in 1994 was better than, and we would have seen Max dressed as Peter Pan with the, and we would have seen Danny as Wendy, and it would have been a fantastic story, and they would have had Mother Witch, but Mother Witch would have been played by like Angela Lansbury or Maggie Smith or something, and but
Cloris Leachman, she would have still been alive.
Exactly. I know.
I don't know. Yeah, I have to agree. I think that's the only way everybody would have been pleased.
Yeah, and I think the only way that would have happened...
It's almost as if maybe they shouldn't have released a Halloween movie in July.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I wonder if that could have fixed some things.
Hey, that's your problem. It was released at Halloween over here in the UK. That's
jealous.
That's the... But the bigger box office is America, so
Yeah.
doesn't matter what us Brits pay at the cinema. We just yeah.
Still.
I know.
Just, you
Exactly.
think that might have helped things if we didn't, do that all the time. It's fine. It's fine. I'm never gonna get over it.
I know.
That's what killed the first movie.
But hey, it is still one of their, well, it is their biggest Halloween weekend.
It
so.
is. It is. We even beat the pants off A Nightmare Before Christmas, which I always found boring. I know, that was blasphemy. Everybody out there is judging me in the comments.
I was in a shop today called Forbidden Planet. I don't know if that's a thing in America. It's basically like the geekiest shop. They have like comic
It's your
books.
answer for box lunch.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's like they have like the wall of Funko Pops. They have all the like boxes of the bags where you open up and you don't know what keyring you're getting for like Seinfeld and like Wednesday, and they had nothing Hocus Pocus. They had the brand new Golden Girls Funkos of them dressed in their gym attire. Yes, their workout. And I was like, oh,
so
$12.99
this
each.
is so random, but the instructor from that episode, she actually played the villain in Power Rangers Turbo, and I didn't know that until she posted about it on Instagram, and I was like, that was Diva Talks? That threw me for a loop for a couple of minutes.
Is she going to be there this weekend?
No.
Oh, dang.
Neither is the lady I really, really wanted to be there, but that's okay.
Who is that?
Her name's Sin Wong. She played Toxica in Wild Force, and she's kind of the character that I based my Ranger off of, so I was please, 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 you just started coming to cons. You need to come to this one, and then nope.
Yeah. I still need to get to a con. I mean,
they're so much fun.
I've never been to one, and
they're so much fun. I haven't been to one since RaptorCon in September last year, so like I'm going through withdrawals.
Yeah, I wish the Hocus Pocus people would come to the UK sometime and do stuff, but
who knows? I know that I'm looking forward to my Salem trip this year, because I'm gonna be there the same weekend as it's just a bunch of Halloween, and me and my buddy are going to the bunch of trivia and bar hang with them.
Are you?
So I'm so excited. You have no idea.
I was actually on the website and I was looking it up, and there's something else on there that I would love to go to. They show the film and then they do the live commentary.
Oh yeah.
While they're
Unfortunately, they're
film.
doing that the day that we're leaving to come back home, so I can't go to that one.
Oh, imagine. Oh, but that's cool. You'll be in the bar trivia.
I'm so excited. I told my buddy, I said, I'll handle the Hocus Pocus trivia.
I was going to say, if you don't win, then...
Listen, I'm going to go back and rewatch all of my birthday streams. I'm going to rewatch the one that we did for a Halloween special. I am going to be studied up for when we walk in there. And then if we win, I'm going to slide my business cards into the middle of the table and be like, follow me.
You'll be like Dorothy when she's studying for Jeopardy.
Yes. Exactly. I'm going to be on it. I'm so excited. But yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So
hey, if they for some reason end up not being in Salem, that it might be because they're off filming something else.
Listen, that year that I was supposed to go, it was 2021 for Lexington Comic Con. Kathy was scheduled to be at the con, and then she had to cancel last minute, and everybody was so mad. And I was like, guys, she's doing the Lord's work. Let her do what she needs to do. I'm not mad. She's doing this.
Well, exactly. If last minute it turns out that Omri and Vanessa can't appear. Although I think it's their baby now, so
I was gonna say it's them, Mars, and it's them and Mars that run it. So
I think it's their baby, so I think they would
would
rather do that than do the third film.
Honestly,
maybe.
I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
That'll be good. When's that then?
That'll be my last night in Salem, which will be the Saturday the 4th.
Of October.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they don't actually do it on Halloween then?
No, they're doing it the first weekend of October this year, which is so fortuitous for how for how I had scheduled my vacation. Because I scheduled that way before that got announced, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, that's worked perfectly.
So, what's funny though is when I saw the Hocus Pocus crew at RaptorCon last year in September, Vanessa remembered me from Cincinnati when I showed up dressed as my Jedi version of Mary. I'm gonna laugh if she remembers me this time and be like, "Look, this was not on purpose."
Are they at the trio?
Yeah. Yeah, they have them on standby to, like, join your team or something, was what I read. So, I'm like, I wonder who I'll end up with.
Because I think, like Larry Bagby and Tobias go to it as well, don't
yeah,
they?
they're going to be there this year. And Tobias is one of the last autographs I need on my VHS, so I'm very excited about that. I've got 3 left. Exciting. It'll only be 2 after I get his, and that's gonna have to probably be it.
I know who they are.
Yeah, we know who the last 2 are. So, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm thrilled that they happened to schedule it for the same weekend that I'm gonna be there. But, yeah, I'm still like over here like fangirling silently about your time travel ideas. Don't mind me.
I'll let you think about that.
I am going to. I'm serious. We need to co-write that, and then I will throw that sucker up.
I can't think of any other film, but maybe one of the Harry Potters does it. Where they go back Time Turner. Time.
Yeah, they use the Time Turner.
I think anything where it makes you change how you see something that you know so well.
Yeah.
Like, we know that I Put a Spell on You scene Inside Out.
Oh yeah.
You know, all of the fans. So I think if you were able to somehow drop something in there that makes you change the way you think about it, so that anytime you do watch Hocus Pocus 1, you would then think, oh yeah, they're all running around in the audience right now. Like, you know.
I don't know.
I love it.
I really like that idea. I really like that idea. I know I'm circling back, but like I keep thinking about it in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. It's really good.
Well, let's start with that and expand.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's easy for us to like sit and talk about HB3 and come up with, but being realistic, what would be your predictions for what you think we will definitely see in a Hocus Pocus 3 when it comes out, being totally realistic, based on what you know of what we got, you know, HB2, and
being totally realistic, it's gonna be another Disney Plus release. There's no way they're gonna go away from that formula.
I don't think they would go cinema, Disney Plus, cinema.
No, that would be dumb. Yeah. So I guarantee it's going to be another Disney Plus release. I think we'll have some aspects of the girls from 2 coming back. Becca, Izzy, Cassie. Maybe not all 3 of them. For the reasons that we stated earlier with busy. But I think some aspects of them will come back.
I never even thought about it the way that you described it earlier, about how they might just have Gilbert with Book again.
And he might have to.
And Gilbert have like a throwaway line where he's like speaking to Izzy or a customer or someone saying, yeah, I'm glad to have Book back because Becca moved to LA, you know, or something like,
I like the LA idea because of the first that would be a good Easter egg. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they had to, I think that's how they could write her out. Mother Witch would definitely come back. In what form, I don't know.
Yeah.
She would have to come back because you don't introduce a character like that and then just drop them off the face of the earth.
Well, that's what I think.
So, that I know for sure is those 3 things. The positive part of my brain wants to say, yeah, we'll get the girls back. The the other part of my brain that's like, we might get them back, but it might be more of a Deus Ex Machina at the end thing. So, and I would not be satisfied, and I don't think anybody would be by that.
It is so difficult to say because you don't know what Disney are thinking, and you don't know what. I think, like you said, their issue right now probably is not just trying to get the main three back, but also trying to get Anna Waddingham back, and that might be quite difficult as well. And getting everyone's schedules together and stuff.
Yeah.
But if it was them that chose Hannah Waddingham for Mother Witch, and I feel like she enjoyed playing it. She loved talking about it in interviews, and she said that her daughter told her to go for it, and So I think if they did ask her and she was able to do it, I think she would come back and do it, especially if it was a bigger, juicier role.
Which I think she would definitely get in a third movie.
Well, that's
I almost said a fourth movie because we've been holding up the number 4 for so long. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
I think one of my predictions is, we'll have Mother Witch, and hopefully it would be Hannah Waddingham. If hopefully we don't just see like a talking crow.
Yeah, that would suck.
Running around for the whole thing.
That would suck.
Yes, no, surely not.
Although it would play into the talking animal bit that we didn't have in the second one.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason she wants Book back is so she could turn back into a human. Maybe she got stuck or something.
Never thought of that. And that's why she was a bird at the end of the film.
Like, because we don't know what happened to her. Maybe since Magicae Maxima is like, you can't love or whatever anymore, you give up your love. If she learned to love the sisters and then she gave up her life for them and got caught or something, she got stuck as a bird. I don't know.
Oh my god, I never thought of that. Oh dear. Oh well, maybe we might have that.
I went off on a thing there.
We might have a talking bird for the whole film, like a very angry talking bird.
It would help with Hannah being able to do voice work from just about anywhere.
Exactly. And it also means that she doesn't have all her powers, and that's why she can't just be like, give me Book back, zap.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, you continue with your predictions. I totally threw you there. I didn't mean to.
I was like, then we're not going to have a talking bird. But now I'm like, we're going to have a talking bird.
Have a talking bird.
I think, like they did in the second one, we're going to have a brand new character. Or brand new characters played by some sort of... I mean, Tony Hale was like... threw me for a loop in the sequel. I still don't know what to think of his character. Love the Reverend. The Mayor, no comment. But I think...
I'm good!
You know,
hold it in!
They obviously needed a brand new character, so they brought in a great actor, a good comedic actor, so I wouldn't be surprised if this time we get someone else, like a brand new character. What that brand new character is, I don't know. Like, I honestly can't think what kind of brand new character they would need for the story. Maybe someone that bridges the gap between the girls and Max and Allison, but then that would be Danny, maybe?
That's what I've always said, is it would be Danny.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it would go to Disney Plus, and I think... Don't know. I really can't say anything with certainty because no one knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Those are our predictions for how a 3, the things we think would definitely be with a 3.
Even then, they were kind of flaky.
They were a little loosey-goosey.
I mean, I changed my bird prediction in like 30 seconds.
That was my fault. So
yes,
that was my fault. I'll take that.
But I kind of do like the, you know, we had Binks talking throughout HP1, and that was absolutely fine.
Yeah. Listen, when random thing, but when I did my review on the first draft of the script, Binks was so much more fun of a character. I need to see his cat posse. Like, I'm literally picturing the Tom and Jerry cats that Tom called up to come beat up the Muscle Mouse, and they show up and they're like, yeah. Just like, what? I need to see the secret life of Binks over here. Like, he had friends, he was using slang words, like, he was a world traveler.
Oh,
come on.
No. Oh, well, I know the cursed life of Thackeray Binks, the cartoon show. I forgot about that, Casey.
Mm-hmm. And you know why we forgot about that? Because we haven't heard anything on that in a while either. And I had to, unfortunately, break the news that Disney Plus has frozen all of their animation. And I have a bad feeling that was going to affect that.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, I saw that when they spoke about the Tatiana Princess and the Frog
the Tiana
TV show. Tiana, sorry, yeah.
No, you're good.
I think that, that's when I heard about the animation stuff.
Yeah, see, as soon as I saw that, I was like, not good.
Last Halloween, we were treated really, really well, but they also got our hopes so high.
Oh, yeah.
Bet and Salvador
Bet was killing all of us with that.
They were posting every day. Is she going to do the same again this year?
If she does it again this year, I'm going to be a lot less suspicious. Last year, I was just like, I started off going, she's just doing it because it's Halloween. And then it kept going and getting a little more sus the entire time. Like the amount of time she posted that one clip of the book opening with this time. And I was like,
with the wig on the...
Lady, I love you, but you're giving me heart palpitations. Stop it.
I think it didn't help that I was probably there being like, she's going to announce Hocus Pocus 3 on Halloween.
Whispering in my ear a little bit.
She's going to be, it's coming. But it didn't come.
No, it didn't come. But
Jason
SJP
every day
reblogging that, and then Taylor reblogging that, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
And Salvador Perez was putting out stuff like behind the scenes every single day as well.
And then Jason, all of his stuff about the cursed life of Thackeray Binks, I was hanging on every word he said.
And then there's been
nothing. I won't lie, since he's going to be there at Bunch of Halloween, I may have to just, like, kind of scoot up to him and be like, do we know anything about
Casey
that?
Well, you need to. You need to ask him. You need to ask Vanessa.
I want that more than I want Hocus Pocus 3, sir. Tell me something.
Don't let Vanessa and Omri hear you say that, just in case they are in Hocus Pocus 3.
No. I'll just be... I can play it cool. Don't worry. My Slytherin knows how to do things like that. I can be cunning when I need to be. But it's like, listen, you had me so excited and we have heard nothing.
Yeah.
Is it positive? Is it negative?
It's crazy because they had like a logo, they had the concept art, they had
and it was beautiful
storylines.
And it was so good. I need to see it.
Said that. So funny.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I growl talk when I get excited. Like Mary.
Yeah. I had completely forgotten about that until you just reminded me.
Until I said world traveler.
Yes.
I need to see this stuff. It would be so good. And not just because it would make content for my channel, but it would be so good. Everything they were coming out with, I was like, this is the vibes. This is giving me all the good things. I love what's happening here. And then we've heard nothing ever since.
Oh, well.
It's fine. That's going to be the title of this video is, it's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're not living for Hocus Pocus 3.
Or anything at this point.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Say something.
The lack of... I feel like in previous years, by this time of year, we've heard, oh yeah, we're getting new Hocus Pocus Funkos in October.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been not... Do you have the Max and Allison Funko?
I don't yet. I'm still trying to find Winifred from the second one.
What with the green?
Yeah, I don't have that one yet.
Oh
I have
no.
looked everywhere. I have a weird thing about buying pops on Amazon. I want to find them in the wild. It makes it more exciting for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I
So,
was in that store today and they had nothing Hocus
yeah.
Pocus anywhere. They didn't have any Hocus Pocus Funkos. I thought they would maybe have those little bags with the key rings inside, but they didn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I just by now we should have heard something about
Well,
anything really
that's
good.
what I thought. I thought surely by now they normally release like, oh, we're gonna have this new pin set of Hocus
Yeah,
Pocus
maybe we'll
and
hear something in July, like I said, since it'll be
yeah.
more anniversary month for the movie. We might hear something then, and I don't know. And San Diego Comic Con is the earliest I could see us hearing anything about
But
3.
then I feel like nowadays I follow discussing film on Twitter, and they like post instantly anything like, and I feel like it could be like a random Tuesday afternoon that like it's suddenly announced that a film is going into
Mm-hmm.
production, and I'm like, whoa, like there's no rhyme or reason why they've just announced
Yeah.
that today at like 3 o'clock on a Thursday. Like why, So I feel it doesn't even technically really need to line up with anything. It could just be like,
It's
we're,
just.
guys, we're now like 3 months before we start shooting this film. We need to just get it
Mm-hmm.
out there that we're doing this.
Yeah, it's like the sword of Damocles hanging over our heads. It could drop at
Exactly.
any moment
Oh.
and skewer us. I don't know. I don't know. There's always that fear of a third anything where it could just
Be awful.
it could just be awful.
Yeah.
And that worries me with any time something goes past 2. Because the Shrek movies, first one was awesome. Second one was probably better than the first one. Third one was not that good. Santa Claus, first one was great. Second one was probably better than the first one. Third one, not so good.
Home Alone.
Home Alone, oh god. That's its own beast.
Adam's Family Reunion. Have you seen that?
Nope, and there's a reason it's never been transferred to DVD.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the VHS of it because I was like, oh my god, there's another Adam's Family film. It's going to be better than Adam's Family Values. Nope.
No.
It's awful.
No.
But I think it's different nowadays, and I think Bette Midler knows that, because she keeps talking about how she wants her franchise and stuff like that. And I
And
think with
they
with the
had.
Marvel films,
Yeah.
there's like Iron Man 4, and there's like, and that's how I'm trying to see Hocus
Yeah.
Pocus now. I'm like, these are like the Marvel films now, where they can be just as good, if not better, than the original.
And
There's
I think what helps with this specific franchise is with the second one, the girls were involved in their character developments. They were involved with that stuff. They had conversations about how they wanted these things to go. They were having meetings with snacks, and it was like one big Zoom party. Like, they were involved in the process. And I think for me, if they let them do that again, we're not going to be in hot water.
Yeah.
Don't exclude them from the process. Let them be part of it.
I think there are also 3 women who want that and would demand that.
Yeah.
I think they would say, yeah, we're signing up for a third one, but we want a say again in the story, in our characters, and what we do. And so I don't think if they're in it, I don't think that if they sign up for Hocus Pocus 3, they would just do it.
Yeah.
Without thinking or anything.
No,
they'd be like, right, we're in it again.
To say about things, especially since Kathy was in there being like, "Hey, I know what the fans would and would not accept with stuff," and she was in there just taking care of business because she was the one who was the most close with the fans and she knew what people thought and everything. So let them be involved. Please let them be involved, because. And I'm going to say this, I think that's why their scenes flowed better than other parts of the movie. Was because they were involved.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with the first film. I could watch just a whole film of just their
Oh, I know.
scenes.
If I want to do a fast watch, no offense, Omri, Vanessa, everybody. No offense. I love you guys. If I'm doing a fast watch, I fast forward to just the scenes with the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah. There must be an edit of that somewhere on YouTube.
Oh,
like, just
more than likely.
Hocus Pocus, just the Sanderson sisters. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think prequels can be just as good now. And I mean, I totally didn't even think about this until I made a post the other day about the costumes from Hocus Pocus 2, and I wrote it in the caption because I knew that there would be all these people, and there was all these people being like, the costumes on number 2 were
There's
awful.
A reason
and
things look different.
Yeah, but I think with every Marvel film, Thor has a costume in Thor 1, and then he has a sort of slightly updated and changed, but still has all of the familiar characteristics of the costume in Thor 2. And then in Thor 3, it's completely changed again, but it still has all of the, that's Thor when you look at him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what could happen. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if in the third film they changed the costumes again.
Now, going back to what you said about it being in winter, I actually kind of like that more because we could get winter costumes.
Fur hoods.
I want to see them in like fur-lined cloaks. Like, maybe somebody's got to wear a turtleneck because it's called like new costume designs would be so cool. Winter witches. I want to see them as winter witches. It would be really pretty.
Or they come back and it is snowing and they're like, oh, and they need to find like something, and they somehow find things that match. Yeah. So I don't think that's a bad thing either.
No, I think changes like that help. Plus, I took film studies class. There are things that like, it was only one class, so everybody's like, oh, you took one class on film. Things stick with you after just one class, and you can never stop looking at it. For me, it has always been lighting and shadows, the use of water, and color. Those 3 things have stuck with me since high school. The Sanderson sisters' colors were brighter this time. Yes, and a lot of people were not happy about that. It made sense, story-wise, for their costumes to be a little brighter because at the end, Winnie does something good. And that shows a brighter side of her. She's not all dark like she was in the first movie. There was some light to her costume, which meant there was light to her. Use of shadows and camera angles and stuff like that have stuck with me. And it just makes sense.
So maybe if they have dark costumes again in the third one, we know that they're going to be...
They're going to be a little more on the not so nice side.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, like the use of water signifies change and rebirth and stuff like that. So like if a character goes through a rainstorm or something like that. So that was why I was so fixated when the poster with their backs to us over what I thought was water, but apparently was the town.
Salem. Yeah.
That's why I was so fixated on that, because I was like, that's water. That means change. Like a sleeper agent. I woke up. I was like, oh, water, change. And in a way, I
Salem.
was right. No, it was Salem. Look, it looked like water from a distance, okay?
It does. I know, yeah.
It looked like a lake.
What was I just thinking? I was watching Hocus Pocus 2 again the other day, as I do every 5 hours or something, and I know that I realised this one of the first times I was watching it, and I think we spoke about it before, but it hit me again how much more they wear their cloaks in the sequel than they do in the original.
They're being a little more secretive and protected and guarded.
But then there's kind of no rhyme or reason when they don't, because they're wearing their cloaks when they're chasing Mike down the road, but then when they come into the mayor's house, they're not wearing their cloaks.
Yeah, that was the one time I was like, where did you stash your clothes?
And then they're wearing their cloaks when the guy's like, are you looking for the stage? And she says, always. And then when they do walk on the stage, they don't have their cloaks, and then they come back again, and they have their brooms and stuff, and they fly off. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason, but they definitely wear them a lot more. I can't even think in the first one. For me, I feel like they only wear them when they fly.
They wore them when they were outside, apart from that first gag where the Black River happened. Because they went back in to get their brooms. Anytime they are outside or on the chase, they were wearing
maybe that's
their
what it is. I guess maybe that's what it is in the sequel, and they're just outside a lot more.
Because anytime they weren't in their own domain, they were not cloakless.
That's what it is.
Because they're not comfortable everywhere else. When you're at home, you can take it off and be okay.
But then in the sequel, they have their cloaks on when they're in the magic shop.
Yeah.
That was the moment I was like, this looks weird because you're inside and you're in your house.
Everything was different. It was changed. This wasn't home anymore. So it was weird. Yeah. See, this is stuff that, like, it gets in your head and it never leaves.
Film studies. Hocus-Pocus studies.
Yeah. That's why I read so much into things, because A, I'm a writer, and B, I took that class and things just stuck.
Everything has a meaning.
Everything has a meaning. They don't do anything on accident. Unless
hey,
it's a blooper.
I find that I'm obsessed with them just like that, and it's purely because of SJP. In my mind, I know that she filmed the first series and then went straight on to filming Hocus Pocus 2, and then went straight on to filming And Just Like That season 2.
No, she went back to do her play and then do
Just Like That season 2. And then she's now, And Just Like That season 3's come out just now, like it's just premiered, and I'm like, is she going to go straight from And Just Like That season 3 to Hocus Pocus 3? Is this just her life now, just like
and in between that, she's
just like
doing
that,
all of her book stuff that she does with her publishing company. I'm like, do you sleep?
But I love And Just Like That. It's like another.
She's got to run on caffeine.
It's become like my new Golden Girls, where I just sort of have it on in the background. It's just sort of like having your old pals there, like just chatting and stuff.
See, I'm doing that right now, but with The Nanny.
Oh,
I love that show.
I love The Nanny.
I love that show.
I also listen to the And Just Like That podcast, which is the writers, and the writers are constantly saying things like, "Oh, we wanted her to wear pink in this scene because it represents her," and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like
everything has a meaning. It does. And when you start picking up on those things, it's like, oh, this just got a lot different.
Exactly. Because then I go back and I watch the episode and I'm like, I've got the writer's voice in my head being like, oh, she's wearing pink right now because she's meant to be all innocent. Or, you know, like whatever it means. And then they're like, oh, and we played this bit of music here because we wanted it to represent. And I'm like, wow, you think a lot about this.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. Like, because if you don't, people are going to pick it apart.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like so careful about plot holes. I make sure every single plot hole of anything I ever write is filled.
But I definitely, I think I posted the clip to my page last week or something of Bette and Kathy being interviewed and saying that they hope everyone catches all the Easter eggs and stuff. And I'm
did.
they knew when they were doing it. Like, I would love to have heard the little conversations with like Anne Fletcher being like, right, this scene, Kathy, if you could say this because the fans are going to go wild when you say this because it harks back to this moment in the first, you know, like all those tiny little, I wish I could have like heard all that.
And see, going back to the costume thing, Mary's outfit was a little darker than her first one, and she acted a lot darker in that one.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
I think
Sarah was a little bit darker too, not like a lot, but it also made sense because she was so much more serious in that one. So,
it was
character
like
development.
Sarah grown up and Mary sort of standing on her own 2 feet a little bit as well. Like
I was like, well, babies are growing up.
Oh.
Yep. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy the things you notice with that.
I know.
But yeah, I mean,
everything means everything.
Everything has a meaning.
I was also in a bookstore today, and I heard your voice because I went to the film and I went to the film and TV section, and I heard your voice in my head saying, "If only we had book with all the photos, all the costume sketches, all the like behind the scenes." Because I saw all these books for like how they made The Dark Knight, and like I'm like,
what did I say?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, I could flip 5 pages and see 5 designs of a Batmobile, but I would love to see like all the sketches.
How did we build their brooms?
Exactly.
How many different broom designs did we go through? Like,
I know, and have it all folded up in a big book, shaped like book. I know.
It would cost a lot of money, but tell me it wouldn't be worth it.
It would be worth it. Yeah. That's why I do Hocus Pocus Guide. Hocus Pocus Guide is basically one of those books.
Yep.
Just not in a book form, but yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how we just don't have anything. but with the merch, if 3 ever happens, the fact that we've said "if" so many times in this video, I think we would get new t-shirts, probably a few new like mugs. But beyond that, I don't see us getting much of anything else, because when 2 came out, we didn't even get updated versions of their costumes for sale. Like, we didn't get Spiderweb Sleeve Sarah. Like, I was a little confused about that, because I was waiting for Spirit to drop that and be like, Hocus Pocus 2 costumes are here. And I'm going to be like, cool, I'm going to get them. But they didn't.
But they didn't, and then I thought, oh, they were maybe a little bit slow, so we'll get them in 2023 Halloween. But no.
Nothing.
Nope.
So, I don't know. They never did updated versions of their costumes for sale. So, I'm
surprised we got like that. So many Hocus Pocus 2 Funkos. Like, they made Gilbert, they made Cassie, they made, like,
they made everybody.
I know.
Except for 2 people who really didn't deserve them, so.
Well, exactly.
Okay, 1 person who really didn't deserve them and half for the other. I'll give some credence for that one, but 1 person who didn't need one.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I was surprised we even got Funkos for Hocus Pocus 2, but
Funkos didn't surprise me as much, because those, you can get Funkos for anything at this point. So those didn't shock me, but like, we mostly just got a lot of home decor stuff that came out, and it was just generic. It wasn't really
rebranded.
HP2.
Yes,
it was just
rebranded.
Generic.
Yeah, like I have a.
So I'd say we just get a new wave of that stuff.
Like more Funkos.
Same old, same old.
I know. I think so.
We need some less repetitive merch.
That's what I was going to say. I'm so surprised as well that we have not had a Blu-ray of Hocus Pocus 2.
I did the math on that, actually. I did the math on that for how Disney Plus releases work. I'd say it's going to be this year. And I'm saying that because if I was going back to see when shows like Loki and The Mandalorian and Winter Soldier came out on DVD, and it was 2 to 3 years after their release. More often than not, it was 3 years after their release on Disney Plus that they came to physical media. This year will make 3 for HP2.
But again, I feel like we would have heard by now if
not
it's coming
necessarily.
Out in October.
I didn't. No? When they did the Blu-ray anniversary release for Hocus Pocus 2, I don't think we heard until like 2 months before its release. So it would probably be closer to like end of July, maybe August, before we would hear anything about that for 2. Or they may just not announce it, because they didn't really make a unless you were following and you were in the know, you didn't really know these Disney Plus shows were dropping on physical media. So you could just walk into a store and there it is. So
that would even be something. I would love that, because surely they would put some sort of extras on there.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow scene. To
see
the deleted Scarecrow scene. The fact that, I don't know about you, but on my Disney Plus, the main photo that they use for Hocus Pocus 2 is that photo from the Scarecrow deleted scene.
Mine is just them admiring the carnival.
That's the deleted scene. They're looking up. That's the scarecrow scene.
Oh!
And when he's going like that, because she's just blasted him up into the sky.
Oh, I thought they were just admiring the atmosphere.
No.
I thought they were just admiring the atmosphere.
Get the photo up right now.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
No.
I literally thought that's what that was. They were like, oh cool, Halloween carnival.
They're all looking up because Winnie's
Oh
just
my
zapped.
God, that's so funny.
Because if you see the photos of the behind the scene, it's that same orange stand behind them when they're filming the scene. Casey.
I have years of academy training wasted. I'm a sham.
And Sarah's looking up at him like, bye-bye.
I never would have made that connection.
And Mary's like delighted with the fact that they've just blown his
I legitimately just thought they were admiring the atmosphere.
No, they're all looking up at the scarecrow. This is from the Scarecrow deleted scene, which it's Hocus Pocus 1 all over again. They're waving the deleted scenes
in front of our face.
And I'm like, why?
What did we do to you?
But again, I feel like that's probably why they deleted that scene, is because they've just blasted a man into the sky in front of like everyone. And I know that that's probably meant to be the commentary in the film, is that no one sees anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you've got that jogger woman running by when Mary takes off outside of Walgreens. It's probably meant to be the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
oh God, never made that connection. Not at all. I was just like, they must enjoy what's happening around them.
That's going to be my post tomorrow now on HocusPocusGuide. I'm going to post that photo and be like, deleted scene.
You can even tag me and call me a fool. I have no problem with that. I will confirm it in the comments.
I'll be like, here's everyone's Casey moment where you all realize that this is a deleted scene and they're using it on the freaking Disney Plus website to promote the film.
Yep, there's your post for tomorrow.
It's like, why?
Oh God, that's so funny.
Why show us a trailer for the first film that's made up completely of scenes that aren't in the film?
Because they hate us.
Why use a photo from a moment that's not in the film for Hocus Pocus 2 as the background for the film on Disney Plus?
Because they hate us. And there is part of me that feels bad whenever I say stuff like that, and whenever I'm like jumping down Disney's throat about certain things, because I'm like, they did give me Hocus Pocus, they did give me Hocus Pocus 2, they gave me the original Pete's Dragon that I love so much. They have made so many movies over that, yes, notice I said original. They've given me a lot of movies over the years that I have loved, but it's just lately I feel like I'm jumping down their throats so much because I don't know what's going on with you guys.
Yeah, I know.
I feel bad about it, but like I can't help it.
It's so difficult. I hear so many different things, and I hate getting political and stuff. But I've heard, Disney don't want to piss off Trump, and excuse my friend. And Disney don't want to do this, and Disney are now focusing on that, and Disney are now focusing on that, and when a CEO comes in for a new company, if the previous CEO has greenlit something, they're going to want to come in and be like, oh no, I didn't greenlight that, so I want to put my own stamp on it and stuff. And I hear all these different things, and I'm like, can everyone just please?
Why can't we all just get along?
Exactly. Take your own ego out of it and just think, we have a fan base there. It's our biggest Halloween moneymaker. It's our biggest Disney Plus streaming film ever. It's a no-brainer. Pay the women what they want. Get everyone back. Ask the fans what they want. Give them it. And it'll be a huge success. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are things not that simple? Problem is they it's like you said, they can't put aside their ego to listen to what we're saying and be like, here is a guaranteed... I'm gonna quote it. You know what? Play the clip!
They know they're sitting on a gold mine. Well, they've had their chance to make a few dollars.
They know they're sitting on a gold mine. They just won't do anything with it. And we're like... And this is something I talked about this in therapy. the reason I'm so hard into Hocus Pocus, like I was when I was a kid now, it's my only fandom left that isn't dramatic. It's the only fandom I have left that isn't eating each other alive. And I'm like, we're the most peaceful people. Because even if you didn't like the second one, in my experience, nobody hates another person because they did like it. They just have a differing opinion. And we're grown-ups in this fandom, and we can move on. But it's like, if you like the first one better, cool. That's cool. I don't care. If you liked the second one better, cool. That's cool. I don't care. We all love the Sanderson sisters. That's the whole thing that unites us, is we all love that. We love this fandom, and we're not mean to each other for no good reason. But everything else has just gone the way of the Star Wars fandom. Everybody's just eating each other for everything. And I'm just like, wow, can we just not enjoy things anymore?
I know. I don't know.
I'm tired of it.
I was definitely guilty of it during the making of Hocus Pocus 2. I was desperate to be the first person to get something out there. Like, look, here's the first look at Winnie. Look, here's the, like, yeah. I became a monster. I became, like, an actual, like, monster. And looking back, I'm like, ugh. So that's why if Hocus Pocus 3 does happen, I need to just...
Yeah.
Cool, collect, just be a normal human.
Yeah.
So I know how
just
easy it is
to...
and
just have fun.
Exactly. I know how easy it is to become that monster and fall into that trap, but it's just... I don't know what it is. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's just we are the least politically driven, angry fandom that I think I've ever seen in existence, which is ironic considering who our leader is. But it doesn't matter.
I just want a nice little Halloween film.
We just want to be, we're in, how I've always described it is, we're this little peaceful village next to the river, living in our little happy world. People come down once a year to buy our Halloween stuff, and then they leave, and we want it to stay that way. Take your drama away from us. We're happy where we are. So, I don't know. It's just, yeah. Hocus Pocus is peaceful. We're a nice fandom. Yeah. We're nice people. Unless, you stop giving us things, and then we're just going to be like, yo, we're over here.
Hello. Merchandise. Please.
Merch,
something.
Updates, anything. We'll take anything at this point.
Hocus Pocus 2. Go and Google Hocus Pocus 2 Blu-ray right now, Casey, because you got me worried that they've announced it and I don't know.
No, they haven't announced anything. I just did the math for a previous video. I don't remember which video it was, but I did the math for one, and I was like, okay. Oh, it was when it was coming on Freeform this past year. When it was coming on to cable television, I was like, oh, well, usually when this happens, because that's how they did the formula with the Star Wars and Marvel shows, was they had it on Disney+, then they released it to the people who had, like, the cable and the satellite packages that they could watch it there, and then they released it onto physical media. So I think if the trend is going the same way they have been, we would get it this year.
This year. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, they released it last year in Freeform. They opened it up to more people. Let's open it up to even more people this year by releasing a Blu-ray and a DVD.
Exactly. Yeah. So, the math works that way.
We better get a different poster for the Blu-ray. Like, I would love a different, something we've not seen, like a new designed poster. One of the outtakes from the photo shoots or something as the poster. I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Just something unique for the Blu-ray, just not something.
So let's be honest with ourselves, it's going to be a mashup of their 3 character posters.
Yeah. It'll be something we've already seen 100 times. Yeah.
It'll be fine. But I think this seems like a good place to call it.
Well,
for a podcast.
I literally was going to say the time.
Yeah.
Are you going to post a 2-hour film?
Oh.
2 hour.
Oh, how long have we been recording? Oh, it's just 1 hour and 42 minutes. It's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. And yes, I will, because our first one was an hour and 35. So there you go. No, I think it was an hour and 50. Excuse me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, our short episode was the second one. But anyway, I think that's a good place to stop the episode for this time.
We got through my only notes, which weren't really that dramatic.
Yeah, and I didn't have bupkis.
So we have nothing to talk about. There's no updates, nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, guys. But it is what it is. Don't blame us.
You should totally. You should totally name this video Hocus Pocus 3 confirmed.
Oh man, I would be crucified. Are you kidding me? I really think the video is going to be, it's fine, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's been like the theme of this episode.
Yes, yeah. We're okay.
We're just fine.
Bobbing along.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed our episode, please remember to drop a like and subscribe to us both. It's free. It helps us, and what helps us helps you guys get more great content like this. Thursday night, I'm going to be back over on Twitch playing more 4th Plays Tamarin, which if you haven't caught some of the replay of that, I start out so calm. And then I get more and more frustrated as it goes on.
That's not like you, Casey.
Not at all. But like to the point where I've almost thrown my controller a couple of times. And that's going to take place at 7:45 Central Standard Time, 8:45 Eastern Time, because I've been running late, and those extra 15 minutes have really helped me out. And then Saturday night we'll be back here with more Black Flame Gaming of Sarah Sanderson Plays Pokemon Sapphire, Randomized Nuzlocke Redux, and that'll also take place at 7:45 Central Standard Time, 8:45 Eastern Time. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got more to do, because I didn't game last week because I was at Ranger Stop and Pop. When you're seeing this, I'm obviously back, and I'm sure I had a fabulous time. So there we go. So that's all you guys need to know about that. Do you have any closing remarks, my friend?
I have nothing to promote. I'm not on Twitch or anything, but the Hocus Pocus Guide is back. I'm posting every day again, and until they bring out Hocus Pocus 3, I'll just be dredging up all the old stuff that I know everyone already knows because you're all huge fans, but I just like posting it again.
And you should.
If there happens to be something that you didn't know or a post that you like, then let me know and comment and stuff, and let me know if there's anything you want to see more of.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, it might be fun to have you on Twitch at some point. Because there is a game we could play in co-op called the Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting.
We could both play as geese that cause chaos, and that's literally your whole job, is to just make mild inconveniences for people, and
that would be fun.
It is the first game I ever played on Twitch, and it is still probably my favorite, next to Hogwarts Legacy. If you guys want to see that, we might be able to make it happen. So it'll be fun. So I think that's all we have for you guys today. So if you're a regular on this channel, please remember to drop a like, go subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. Make sure you're following him and me on Instagram, and I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson sister.
And I'm the Guide Master from Hocus Pocus Guide.
And we will see you, witches and wizards, later.
I put a spell on you.